Hello, class. My name is Princewell, and my field of study is computer information system at the University of Houston, Victoria. I also studied computer science and information technology at Houston Community College, and I focus more on network and security. I work as an IT engineer, and today's project is gonna be on packet sniffing. And before I go into that, I'm gonna do a brief explanation on what security is and look into cybersecurity a little bit before we go down to the project. So, security is, in a broader sense, refers to protecting people, assets, resources, and all those good stuff from harm, whether physical, digital, or otherwise. And we have type of security. We have physical security. We have information security. We have operational security, and we have cybersecurity, which is a subset of security focused on the digital realm. So when we say what is cybersecurity, cybersecurity refers to the practice of protecting digital systems, networks, data, and devices from cyber attacks, unauthorized access, or damage. It involves safeguarding sensitive information from threats such as hackers, malware, phishing, ransomware, and other malicious activities. Right? So it is kind of like very important in our world today. Some of the key focus in cybersecurity is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And this is what we call the CIA triad. Very important for anybody that is looking into security. Then, when you talk about some key cybersecurity terms that we all know, we can see them right here on the screen: threat, vulnerabilities, risks, malware, phishing, ransomware, exploit, and zero-day attacks. So vulnerabilities are the weakness or gaps in a security that allows threats to access our assets. These are weaknesses that are inherent in an asset, leaving an opening for threats. E.g., it's for example, is lack of update, default configuration, cold firewall, lack of organizational policy, and lack of up-to-date malware protection. So when you talk about risks is the potential for a threat to exploit a vulnerability and cause harm to our asset. They do this by taking advantage of those vulnerabilities. They use threat against IT system asset. And we all know risks, the formula for risks is threat times vulnerability. Then when we talk about asset in the IT realm is a part of an IT infrastructure that has value. And these are stuff like data, servers, intellectual properties, applications, personal properties, internet services, wireless access workstations, and gateway routers. The list is long. Then when we talk about likelihood is a probability over a defined period of time of something being damaging an asset, right? Such as a web server attack or a hard drive failure. Then when we talk about threat actors, this is people or anyone or anything that has the motive or resources to attack another enterprise IT infrastructure. Then when we talk about vectors are more like those pathways that threat actors use to gain access into our organizational assets, then they can now perpetrate their malicious act. So let's go down to the project. Our project is on packet sniffing. And when we say what is packet sniffing, packet sniffing is the process of intercepting and logging traffic that passes over a digital network or part of a network. It allows malicious people to kind of like view data packet transmitted between devices, and that is usually when you are not security conscious, when you use http site like we're going to use for this project. And also we're going to be using Wireshark for a capture. It's going to be our capture tool for this project. And let's talk a little bit about Wireshark. Wireshark is a powerful network protocol analyzer used to capture and inspect data packets in real time. Wireshark is one of the most popular tools for analyzing network traffic. It can capture each data packet going across the network. In this project, I will show you how Wireshark can be used to sniff a network packet and reveal unencrypted login credentials from an HTTP request. This will help us understand the importance of encryption in network communication. So, like I said, it is important that we encrypt data, especially when you have important data that you're trying to transfer over the internet. So, the goal of this project is to demonstrate how unencrypted login credentials can be intercepted using Wireshark. So the tools that we need for this project is Wireshark, a browser, a test website. This is a website we're going to be visiting, a domain credentials, and the username. So let's go ahead here and start our Wireshark. I'm on a Wi-Fi, so I'm going to start capturing packets on a Wi-Fi. So once it's capturing, I'm going to go over here and pull up this Chrome website. Then I'm going to put in that link for that site. Once I put it in, I'm going to put in those dummy credentials, put it test. Then I'm going to come to the password as well and put test. Then I'm going to hit enter to log in. So that is login and it's now being captured. I'm going to go back to Wireshark and right on our PowerPoint right here, on our PowerPoint, we do have a link that we can use to filter our HTTP request. So I'm going to use Control C, copy that, go back to Wireshark, go to the filter, paste that, hit enter, make sure that is filtered, and I'm going to click on this, then I'm going to expand this so we can see those credentials that are captured. So when you scroll down here and you take a look right here, you can see the username test and the password test that has been captured already. So that is basically what the project is. It's basically showing you how we can use Wireshark to capture your credentials when you use it over unsecured network like a HTTP. Okay, so now we go back to our PowerPoint, then we take it to the next. So basically, we've gone through all this process. Basically, we expanded the HTTP protocol, pin details, and we looked for the test username and the text for password credentials, and we saw that it was captured live, and that is how an attacker could capture your information and sell it over the dark web or use it for malicious purposes. So basically what we need to understand that sniffers, when you're using HTTPS, sniffers can't see your credentials. It's encrypted. But HTTP, it's unencrypted, is a plain text, so they can easily fish out those information. Then HTTPS encrypts data using transport layer security, which is an internet protocol security that we need to protect our data over the internet. So when you talk about best practices as we conclude is you avoid logging into HTTP site. Always check for padlock on a site. Like when you go to this site, you see right here it's telling you it's not secured. If it was, it will have a padlock on there. So it's not a secured site. We must learn to avoid such site. Then use VPNs to create tunnels so you can transfer data securely, tunneling your data, especially when you're using when you're using Wi-Fi or you're using an untrusted network or a network that the security is not top. So Wireshark is a powerful tool and we must learn to use it ethically. Ethically, very important. We must learn to use it ethically. Thank you everybody for watching. This is the end of my project, and if you do have a question, be sure to put it on my YouTube link below. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.